for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what... you know what I mean. Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
All right, y'all. So up next, we have a suggestion. Shout out, thank you so much to Charwilly for this story. Now, following up, right, on this migrant crisis housing situation we've been talking about going on in Chicago now. I told you I've been talking about it since we were on Char's channel, Just Ask Char. Now there's a dash. I've got questions. Anyway, point is, I've been covering this since like the very beginning, okay? And I'm a little invested now. Apparently, there has been some movement, and including Chicago residents, they're not only speaking out, they are acting out in all the ways that I love. Okay, we gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. So let us take a look first at this part of the situation.
The circle on your screen is around 12th Ward Alderwoman Julia Ramirez. She and her staffer were swarmed by a group of protesters in Brighton Park today. All of it caught on CBS2 cameras. Neighbors are angry about a plan for a migrant tent base camp there.
The mayor calling today's confrontation an attack, while the alderwoman says she understands her constituents' frustrations. Archer Monteri breaks down what happened.
Really?
Right now, crews are working on this tent city here in Brighton Park, but residents, they are determined to make sure that the gates never open. Yet the way they went about blocking the entrance to this lot this afternoon, not to mention surrounding the alderman, has many people questioning their tactics. With loud voices and a rowdy approach, people rush down to this lot at 38th and Cal to make sure the city's proposed tent city for immigrants does not move forward.
Maybe they thought that we would just allow this to happen.
Yep.
And while this isn't
That's
the
exactly
first
what they
community
thought.
upset about how the city is handling the immigrants, what played out when the alderman showed up is a first.
But, like, okay, hold on. They're about to show literally nothing happening except this woman got yelled at loudly and signed. When I say signed, isn't they put the signs in her faces, and it was just so confronting to have to read the signs because they were in her face and they yelled at her. I don't feel sorry for you. Beyond that point, though, okay, beyond the point that I just don't feel sorry for her, and they'll keep going into her story in a second. You'll see. We'll follow up on that. What were the people, the residents of this part of the city supposed to do? You don't, if you saw it, they just showed a sign, and the sign said, we found out on the news. No one told us. No one's communicating with us. No one's sent out flyers. Hey, let's have a town hall meeting. Let's, have a discussion. Let's talk about what's right for everybody. Like, no one cared. Nobody cared. No one's talking to them. Okay? Despite that, they're speaking. And everyone's ignoring them. So what did you expect them to do? Right now, they're in peaceful protest. This is a peaceful gathering. The fact that little Miss Alderwoman said, that doesn't make the gathering less peaceful, okay? And it doesn't make what these people did more illegal. I'm sorry that this woman feels a little confronted. This was her job, okay? These are when you are in government, you speak for the people. You work for the people. What is she doing to speak and work for the people? Because what it seems like she's saying and doing is nothing. Let's take a listen, though. You'll see.
Watch as people turned their frustration to Alderwoman Julia Ramirez. She couldn't even get a word out before those in the crowd verbally lashed out.
Hitting an alderman or hitting their staff members or surrounding them, that is not all right.
Dick Simpson is a former two-term Chicago alderman under First Mayor Daley. He points out Chicago politics has always been heated, yet...
Well, it's not anywhere close to what we had in the 1968 Democratic Convention where there was a lot of violence. It's not close to the riots on the west side of Chicago after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. Still, it's an unfortunate incident.
An incident Alderman Ramirez calls an assault, saying, I wanted to engage directly with my community to address misinformation being spread about my involvement in the plan. Adding, it became clear that most of the protesters did not want to engage in a peaceful dialogue.
No, lady. No, okay? So let's be clear what was said here. It became clear that most of the protesters did not want to engage in a peaceful dialogue with me. right? Well, what dialogue did she want? She wanted to engage directly with her community to address misinformation being spread about her involvement in the plan. Lady, do you not get that no one cares that you didn't go, hey, I co-signed this plan. Let's come up with a plan together. You're supposed to be fighting for the people. You're supposed to be the voice of the people. Right? Like, is that your job? I don't understand. What does local politics do except for, deal with the locals, local issues, local matters? For you to say, well, I didn't make the plan. Well, you should have been fighting for your district. You didn't fight for your district. So, the fact that you think that people should have listened to you give your, little sob story, world's tiniest violin foolishness, and then absolve you of all guilt. It's okay, it's not her fault. They're there. Oh, she didn't make the plan, so it's okay. She didn't have to do her job as alderwoman. Come on. We already saw from Tiffany Henyard's Supermayor that these people in government make a lot of money to do basically very little. So when you're finally called to do something, maybe you should do it. What do you think? Sounds crazy, right? I know. Okay.
In a peaceful dialogue with me.
There can be disputes about how to do it, but those shouldn't end up in physical confrontation.
Which never happened.
Fellow city council members condemned the incident. Mayor Johnson requested CPD investigate as one staffer went to the hospital in what he called an assault. Ramirez went on to say, violence and hate is not the answer.
She understands the concerns of her constituents, but still, she shouldn't have been attacked.
As for the Tent City residents, they are determined and violence and hate is not the answer.
This. Look at this.
She understands the concerns of her constituents, but still, she shouldn't have been attacked.
As for the Tent City residents, they are determined and will continue to keep protesting to keep the migrants from living here.
Do y'all see that? She tried to make it seem like I was trying to engage. No, you weren't. You were trying to walk away. You were trying to run away, and they wouldn't let you because they just physically stood in front of you. They didn't touch you. You lying sack of so-and-so. Okay. That's part one. That's part one. The lying sack of so-and-so. Alderwoman. Oh, this poor, innocent woman. Why would you put this all on her shoulders? It's not like she's in local politics or anything. Any of this is her job. To advocate for the people. Okay. Well, y'all, I gotta tell you, I am excited about this one. I think this is super awesome, okay? In advance, we're giving snaps to the citizens of Chicago because, listen, they did something that we say all the time people need to start doing. Well, I say it all the time, right? Which is, there are ways to fight within the system and ways to fight outside of the system. Let's take a look at what they did.
Well, confusion, suspicion, and anger today about the plan to house migrants at a far west side Park field house.
The mayor said the plan was on hold earlier this week, but residents say they've seen signs it's moving forward. As WGN's Andrea Medina reports, they're going to court now to try to stop the migrants from moving in.
Wednesday was supposed to be the day that they bring in the migrant today.
As of Wednesday, the Amundsen Park Fieldhouse remains accessible to Westside residents. Fall programs continue, and there's no sign of any asylum seekers. For more than a week, many in the Austin and Galewood communities have been pushing back the city's decision to convert the building into a migrant shelter.
So, last week we were talking about, hey, why don't you pour all that federal money for the migrants, right? And all the tax dollars you're about to also borrow, right? Pour it all into infrastructure for Chicago so that way after you're done helping the migrants, you could also maybe simultaneously be helping the homeless, and later on you could be helping all the citizens of Chicago in general, right? Instead of taking that suggestion, they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take one of the few resources that Chicago has for its people, for its children, and we're just going to take it. We're going to take it from their people. We're going to, wait, what? No. How did you decide that that was the answer? Who told you that was the good idea? Who told y'all this? Oh my God, 2 administrations. Wow.
Not willing to lie down and willingly give up our part.
Right.
Right now, the mayor's office has put plans on hold as they look for an alternate site. But some are having a hard time believing the Johnson administration.
As we have seen, as soon as they said that they were going to consider taking it off the list, we saw them come in and still had the supervisor to turn over the keys. We still saw them pack up the park. We still saw them come back this morning with investigators. We still saw them bring porta potties.
That's why at least 5 residents filed an emergency temporary restraining order yesterday to block the city from going back on their word about.
Yes. Hold on, let's hear that again.
We still saw them bring porta potties.
That's why at least 5 residents filed an emergency temporary restraining order yesterday to block the city from going back on their word about moving migrants into the field house.
They put out a press conference and said on hold. Hold doesn't mean stop. So they're already using the wordplay to get us to calm down. But what I want them to see is that we're not.
They've asked the court for an immediate injunction.
We just got it over to the judge this morning, and the judge needs to read it and determine whether or not there is indeed an emergency, whether or not she wants everyone to come in for a hearing.
While plans to turn the Park District facility into a shelter are paused, residents say they still need to take legal action.
Because we feel that their plan might not change. Ours can't either. We're going to continue to stand strong. We're going to continue to fight.
The attorney says the Cook County Clerk's Office has delayed the stamping of the TRO paperwork. We have reached out to the clerk's office for comment, but we haven't heard back from them. There are also discussions to house migrants at a vacant building just minutes away from this park. Residents believe that's a better option because programming and resources won't be taken away from them. Reporting on the west side.
There's a vacant building blocks away, and rather than just choosing that as a solution, your first bet is to take things away from Chicago taxpayers? Who makes these decisions? Blown away. Okay? But again, snaps, kudos, big cheer. I love to see this, okay? They do not expect us to go and use the system that we don't trust, that normally works against us. They do not expect us to go and use that exact same system that could also work for us. They don't expect it. They don't. So I am so elated. I'm so elated to see us use this system for our benefit for once. I love to see it. I hope we all learned a valuable lesson. Okay, you could take a restraining order out against your local government. You could do so. Well, like, don't just do it just cause. But, like, you know what I mean? If there's, like, an important thing, then just do it. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. Should they just use the vacant building down the street? Do you have any other suggestions? Because it seems like, honestly, let's be real, the citizens are much better planners in decision-making than the government, anyone in the government is. So, I mean, I don't even know. I have no idea. It doesn't seem like every time we check into the story, it just gets worse and worse and worse. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. Wow.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all 3 of you. Can you say in 1 sentence or less what